Hi there everybody, it's Rarity here from inkbutterfly.wordpress.com and thank you for joining me again today. If it is the first time you've visited this channel, please do have a look through and subscribe. Tap the notification bell and you'll be notified when I post new videos. I do about 4 a week, so I would appreciate that. And please do share with your friends if there's anybody else you think would appreciate them. So today's card we are going to be making this. This is it's sort of a one layer card. I couldn't resist, sorry, putting some dimensionals on there. So there is a panel, one of those panel raised, but essentially a flat card today. So no dies, just stamps, paper and ink today. I'm going for this autumnal kind of look. The colours I have used are rich raspberry, pumpkin pie and Cajun craze, so very autumnal colour palette. Rich raspberry is a gorgeous colour, it doesn't get used enough really. And then Cajun craze, bless it, it kind of has its renaissance come every autumn and then people put it down again. But those are the colours we are using. Just going to put those to one side so that they are to hand. And the stamp set that I have used is Rooted in Nature. This is a fantastic stamp set. It's a 1 of 2, so there are 2 boxes full of these beautiful leaves and trees, and it's just a really great stamp set. There are coordinating dies which are in here. These are the days when I used to put everything on a magnetic sheet. So there's loads of dies, and there's these embossed leaves that you can do as well. So it's really fabulous, a really great set to have. They were in a bundle, but they aren't anymore, so you do have to buy them separately. So this is an old favourite of mine that I thought I'd bring out to play with today to create this. We are stepping it up slightly. We are introducing some extra layers. Okay, so this is very much a regular layered card, but on our jazzed up version I'm going to introduce a second lot of layering. On this one I've used the plain card base with the very vanilla. I'm going to go with the coloured card base this time, so I'm going to bring in the rich raspberry there and have an extra vanilla layer and then stamp on this panel. So it's going to be slightly smaller but sitting there, but I'm hoping it's going to have a little bit more oomph to it. So again, it's all about options. If you want to just keep it simple, you can do, or you can add some extra layers and just give it that additional step up. So the only thing we need to mess about with at the moment is that stamping layer. This, by the way, came out to 3.5 by 5 1/4. Okay, so the layer on that is just 1/8 of an inch bigger, so that's 3 5/8 by 5 3/8. And then card base, you'll know, 4 1/8 by 5 7/8 of an inch. I think this is slightly smaller layer, yeah, so 3 7/8 of an inch by 5 5/8 of an inch. Sorry, I'm an inches girl. So we need to have this guy, and we are going to use some scrap paper behind it so that we can keep our main desk nice and neat and tidy. And I'm just going to secure the top of that for a moment, just so that we've got a solid framework to go with, because we want to stamp that sentiment across the middle and then be able to mask it off. So first things first then is positioning the sentiment. So I'm going to use a post-it note to help me do that. Okay, so I'm just going to get this lined up on the background grid paper, so I've got something to line it up with. So if this is straight and that is straight, then in theory the whole thing should end up straight. And I want that bottom edge to line up somewhere about there, I think. So I'm just lining up that post-it on the bottom here of the grid paper, and I'm going to put that there. So that's going to be my line for where my sentiment's going to be. So it's probably a bit higher than it is on the original sample, but I'm just going to go with it. I just want it level and straight. Rich raspberry ink for the sentiment. You are wonderful. Really nice bold sentiments in here. The other one is really nice as well. Is it Thinking of You? Yeah, Thinking of You. But it's really nice and it fits inside the circles and the large label dies beautifully. Just making sure this is really well inked because it's quite a chunky font, so you want plenty of ink on there, but not so much it's going to end up. I've just got a bit on the edge of my stamp there, so I'm just going to try and mitigate any mishaps. It shouldn't transfer, but if you just press too hard. So now what I'm doing is I've already I know that stamp is level on the block, so I'm using the edge of the block here and lining it up with the edge of that post-it note. I'm just eyeballing that. You may not be able to tell from your angle there, but that's what I am doing. Just hovering above the cardstock when I'm happy, pressing it down and just giving that some firm pressure and holding it down. Dark ink with a sort of quite a solid chunky stamp, you just want to give that ink plenty of time to transfer. Okay, and there it goes. Beautiful. Okay, get that wiped off straight away. Got my stamping chamois off to my left, and that gets that ink off. If I just show you this, look, beautiful, ready to go. Okay, so now we've got our sentiment in place, we need to mask that off. Let's get rid of this before we have a mishap. So I'm actually going to use some post-it tape for this. I actually forgot I had this. I was literally looking through to do this project. I was like, oh, I could do some masking tape, and I had a rummage through the drawer, and there it was, looking at me. So I am butting that up right up against that post-it note. We do need 2 strips. This isn't quite wide enough to do the job on its own. And again, use one of the lines on the grid paper to line that up. You can just about see them through the tape, as long as it's roughly straight. That'll be grand. So that's going to mask off that top area now. Sorry, the area where the sentiment is, sorry. And we can now remove this bit. So now we can stamp on the cardstock but leave that middle panel clear where the sentiment is. Okay, does that make sense? So yeah, this is that post-it tape, labelling and cover-up tape they call it. Okay, I think it comes in a whole heap of widths as well. Looks like there's a dispenser there. You could use other low-tack tapes. There's loads of different low-tack tapes out there, so do check those out. So the first ink we're going to use is Pumpkin Pie, with that sort of triple leaf image. Excuse me. I did think it came out a little dark, so this time round I think what we're going to do is stamp off first. So I'm just going to grab another piece of paper that I can stamp off onto. I'm just leaving it down here, just a piece of scrap that is all mucky. So just so you know, if you just press your first image off, and then we can apply that to the card, and it's just going to give us a little bit softer colour, not much, but enough. I just felt like it clashed a little too much with the Cajun Craze when I had them together, so we're going to try this second generation ink instead. So I've tried to get them facing different directions, looking a little bit more natural. They wouldn't all be lying in a lovely little row if they were in the park or whatever. You want to press reasonably firmly because you want contact where that tape is, basically. So if it overlaps all the way up here, it doesn't matter. So just want to do things in different directions, that's all. Just take your time and put them where you want to put them. Okay, so that's already looking a little softer, liking that. Okay, brilliant. Again, I'm just wiping that off so it's all ready and clean for next time. I do like to clean as I go. Okay, so that's our pumpkin pie leaves, and now we're going to use the Cajun Craze. So I did like the intensity of this sort of orangey brown colour, so we are going to do first generation on this one, and I'm hoping they'll just stand out a little more against those orange leaves. So just going straight in with these. I'm not going to stamp off first. I'm just making sure it's really well inked. And I'm gonna aim more for the gaps. I wasn't doing that on the original, and again that helps with the definition really. Okay, this stamp. I was just seeing if I could see on. It's not intended to stamp completely solidly. There's a little bit of fade on it, so don't think that's a mistake. It's just how the stamp is designed, so that's perfectly okay. Just want some little bits poking in on those edges there, just to finish that off. Okay, and then we'll do similar along the bottom. Twist and turn and do them higher or lower. So that one got quite a lot of the stalk showing, whereas that one hasn't. You know, just make it look as natural as you can. So you're trying to plan it so it doesn't look planned. The irony. Right, that will do. Clean that off. I love the chamois. It's just so quick and easy. So quick and easy. All ready to go for next time. You can wipe your blocks off on it as well. Okay, ink's going away. And now I have another tip for you now. So the post-it tape will hold on to that ink. So that ink is still wet on that post-it tape. I don't know whether you can see it glistening away. Okay, not like soaking, but there's still some moisture in there. And I actually dragged that off onto the card, and that helps to define. This is just a tissue, kitchen paper or whatever. Helps to define that masked off region. Okay, and also means you won't get all inky when you take it off. Okay, let's get that peeled off. So this tape is designed to be super low tack, so it should come off really beautifully, and that's what we have. Okay, so slightly different orientation. It is a bit higher than centre this time. Don't think that's a problem. All up to you where how you position it. If you want it more central, then please do position it that way. And we're ready to just layer it up now. Okay, so here's our rich raz layer. I'm just going to use some Stampin' Seal on this. This is a fabulous new adhesive. Knocks spots off snail. Now, I like snail. I thought it was a really great product for quick and easy card making, but that stuff's great. Just that extra bit of strength, but still got time just to. And it's just quick and easy. Just really brilliant. Doesn't that look fab? Just like that. You could put that in a frame. If you wanted to give an inspirational message to somebody, especially at the moment, you know, everyone's just feeling a bit ugh, aren't they really, let's face it. Yeah, so I like that, it's very nice. So this panel is going to be the one that we raise up on dimensionals. So we're just going to stick some of those on. So all four corners, don't put them too close to the edge, otherwise they're visible on the mantelpiece. And then I just like to have a couple in those middle bits there. Okay, some people would absolutely freak out at the number of dimensionals that are on there, but I like to make sure it's on there and stuck down. Okay, I'm going to get these off ready. They're really easy to peel off. You catch those corners and they just peel away. They're really great. If you do have some problems, one tip is to press with your fingernail like that, and it just lifts the edge like so. The other thing people do is they use like a pokey tool or something like that, and they use that to lift them off. So lots of different ways to get them off if you've got issues doing that. That's ready to go. And then we're going to put our vanilla layer on our card base ready to receive that panel. Don't ask me why, I do prefer to do this on the side. I don't know why. I think it's just easier for me to visualise the edges, I think that's why. Seems to work anyway. You do it however you like. I see a lot of people, they kind of like to line things up in mid-air so they can see it and stuff. So there's a little boo-boo on there, don't know where that's come from. Just a imperfection in the cardstock maybe. Don't matter. Okay, if you are nervous about positioning the panel, if you just put the smidge of the multi-purpose glue on the back of those dimensionals, just a tiny bit, a little tiny bit, it just gives you a couple of moments to wriggle room before you commit to pressing it down. See, I can still move that around. If that glue wasn't on there, I wouldn't be able to do that. Okay, and now if I press, because you haven't put too much glue on, the sticky of the dimensionals will kick in, and then that's an instant grab. It's stuck down now. Okay, you probably could get it off, but I'm not going to try. Okay, right. So I didn't put any bling or anything on, but you totally could. It's entirely up to you. I think champagne rhinestones would look great. Just tones in with the autumnal feel of it all. Okay, but that's entirely up to you. So this is where we started with just the one layer, and then we stepped it up a bit by using the coloured card base and adding the extra layer. So up to you, however brave you feel about doing your layering. The Stampin trimmer, by the way, this is the tool I use for all my cutting and mats and everything, and it is just a superb tool. So if you are struggling to cut mats straight and accurate, I really would recommend this tool. Fantastic. I will link it in the description. Right, that's all from me for today. Thanks ever so much, everybody. Please enjoy the rest of your week, and please do give me a thumbs up. Take care, everyone. Okay, bye.